Hello, everybody. Buddy with Midland, Texas. This is going to be a real interesting video for you today. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the pedophile parties that I was told was going on here. This guy attacked me, or I felt like attacked me on YouTube. There's rarely a day goes by that I don't see crap like this. Y'all don't see it. Most of the time, I don't allow misinformation, lies, slander, attempts to cover up murders, pedophile parties, to even come across and get posted in public. Every once in a while, I'll comment on it, okay? And that's what I did today, and then I copied it over to Facebook, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? So here's today's Facebook post. Underground pedophile parties. The elephant in the room here, okay? This guy, Jarrod Kern, posted on my YouTube today, says, "Buddy, are you on Adderall or vyvanse? My 54-year-old neighbor is currently in psychosis from years of amphetamine Adderall abuse. He claims that people tried to break into his home, but he has no evidence because they hacked his cameras." Don't take this the wrong way, please. Just thought it was interesting. Your ex-wife said you're on ADHD medicine. And, and I looked at that after you sit there and you see proof that I'm a victim of a capital attempted murder. You see all this evidence of multiple people saying tunnels, underground homes are here. You can see them on Google Maps. You got a guy running for sheriff recorded saying that they're here. Okay. And it's just this overwhelming amount of evidence. And this guy, he just seizes on this one little thing to try to cover up these multiple murders. Remember, one guy told me four murders, deaths at this house. Okay. And that was confirmed by other people. And so here was my reply. I said, "No, I no longer take medication for ADHD. And furthermore, I'm a Christian who doesn't drink, smoke, or do drugs." My guess is your neighbor is telling the truth, since I have now identified over 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic since I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going off in my attic. Notice that how he forgot that part. He forgot, he conveniently left out the fact that these crimes are going on all over the country, right? He didn't want to mention that, when he's trying to smear my name in the public, right, and cover up capital murders and pedophile parties. Not to mention 100 videos of burglar alarms going off in my home. Okay? And by the way, I proved they were hacking my security cameras. That proof was posted in the public and provided to law enforcement. Proof was also found showing that I wasn't shot with my gun, which makes me the victim of a premeditated capital attempted murder, and multiple people are now documented saying that tunnels and underground homes are here, along with supporting evidence found on Google Maps. These are the evidence. This is the facts. Ain't nobody will argue the facts because they can't. The facts are the facts. This is what's happened. One of the many people documented saying those underground homes were here said it was four 3-bedroom $1 million underground homes buried at least 25 foot deep, and she said they were having pedophile parties down there. Is that something you would know about, Jarrod Kern? Is that how come you decided to go in the public and smear my name and omit all the evidence here showing that I'm a crime victim? It's a crime to harass a victim and witness to a capital attempted murder, yet that has been allowed to go on over and over and over. We're 10 years down the road, and these jerks ignore the evidence showing this premeditated capital attempted murder while publicly trying to smear my name. It's a very fair question to ask why, and wonder if this guy is one of the pedophiles that I was told about that was at the underground parties. That just seems to make sense. I'm trying to make sense. Is Jarrod Kern dumb as a rock? Is that what he is, or is he just dirty and involved in murders and pedophile parties? We're trying to make sense of it. It's a fair question. Don't you all agree, or do we just want to ignore the fact that it's been said they're raping children too, along with all the other evidence? Okay, so here's the phone call and the video. $1 million underground facilities. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. I'm going to put the link there so you can. I have some comments here on it, and I started with the first comment. I said, "This guy, Jarrod Kern, saw the police report from December 20th, 2011, when the ex-wife, who is now alleged to be involved in the murder attempt on my life by her former boyfriend, told the police I was going crazy and I was taking medications for ADHD. You know what also gets left out by Jarrod Kern is that she got recorded on a recording saying if I didn't pay her about $1,800 a month over the crimes at my house, she's going to tell everybody I was crazy. He seemed to leave that out too. You notice that, And so it appears he seized on that non-important fact in an attempt to cover up the 4 murder deaths said to be connected with my home by Aaron Packelhofer, along with the premeditated murder attempt on my life, proven premeditated murder attempt on my life, and other crimes such as the underground pedophile parties. That police report was shown in the video was called "We're Creating a Documentary on You." He had just watched that. It's a recent video I just did. It tells the story of MPD officers Blake Bush and Trent Sellers putting me in the back of a police car, which already had a baggie of marijuana laying in the seat, and then telling me we better not be called back here again for this stuff. This was 39 days before my phone lines were cut, and I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going off in the attic. It was the reason the police were not called to my home for that burglary when they had already been called multiple times before for burglaries. Okay. And so, I said in that video that Blake Bush, Trent Sellers have some very serious questions to ask, because that's exactly what happened that night. They put me in the back of a police car with a bag of marijuana. The threat to frame me was real obvious. And I wondered if that same thing was done to the last homeowner, because he died right before I moved here. 11 police accidentally started a camera while I was in the hospital and caught themselves planting evidence and staging the crime scene. And it took 6 years and a $2,000 reward to get them identified. The police report for that night has been subpoenaed in 2013, but was illegally withheld by the police for 6 years. When I finally got a copy, I saw that 6 of their names, of the 11 names, were illegally omitted from the report. That's felonies. 6 felonies right there. And 2 of those officers, Naylor and Simpson, are now dead. At least 2. Died within 2 months of each other. It's been questioned if they were not murdered by some of them other dirty cops. It also provided proof that police were under my home that night. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. The question has been asked if police were planning my murder in advance, and or if they were also connected with the suspected murder of the last guy that owned this home, Mike Lawhon, who died the week before the 2008 oil show started. With proof of their crimes, this seems like a legitimate question. Once we prove this with all this evidence, these are fair questions to ask. These are not our good cops that we praise. These are dirty cops that hid like cowards for 6 years. They got caught on camera in a murder attempt. This guy and anybody else who tries to cover up capital crimes should be investigated, as it's exceedingly clear that I'm an innocent and crippled crime victim. When I proved I wasn't shot with my gun, proved somebody came to my home and shot me, and that's capital attempted murder. And that killers are still free. Still free to break into y'all's home right now. Don't forget that. These dirty cops have allowed them killers to go free. And here's another video. We're creating a documentary on you. That's the one that he commented under. I encourage you to watch it. Blake Bush, Trent Sellers. They're the police that were here 39 days before the murder attempt. I have a video showing the evidence found showing that police accidentally started my security camera, along with the proof that at least 5 officers, Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, were under my home on the night I was shot by somebody under my home. There is nobody that even tries to argue these facts, as this is what happened. It's irrefutable, undeniable. It's just ignored while the crimes are allowed to continue. Y'all watch that video too. Pictures of the secret police. The log file shows they tried to disable the camera. They did disable the front cameras, and then they tried to disable the inside camera and caught themselves on camera planting evidence, stealing evidence, and staging the crime scene of this premeditated murder attempt. After I survived the home invasion and premeditated murder attempt, the ex-wife told me, "You don't know how many lives that you ruined with your idiocy." It's now known that I trapped a burglar in my guest bathroom before the murder attempt, and I was on the other side of the door with a gun and have a right to protect my life and property. I felt like these police have tried to use that as an excuse, to cover up these crimes and murders. I believe that was what she was calling my idiocy, that I trapped the burglar. But she was also said that a lot of people were here and they were going to have their lives ruined. So what were they doing in the underground home in the backyard that would ruin their lives if it was found out? Maybe the woman on that phone call told us they were having sex with children. It would also explain these relentless attacks against the innocent crime victim, like I saw today on YouTube by this guy. Here's just a clip from that main video I was talking about. And this is the reason we're asking about the pedophile parties. Okay, let's see here. I need
called pizza parties, but I know what you're talking about. I asked them about the pizza parties. They said they're not called pizza parties, but I know what you're talking about.
Right, the pedophile parties.
Yes.
And then and see.
And so there you go. She's the one that's telling me. She's the one that told me specific details and information that there was how many homes? There's 4 of them. How deep? At least 25 foot deep. How many bedrooms? There's 3 of them. She had specific details, and these these homes have been confirmed by multiple people. One of them guys was running for sheriff and secretly got recorded. You can take it to the bank. She was telling the truth, so I have a feeling she's telling the truth about the pedophile parties. No, I know, and here was, this was a copy and paste from above. No, I no longer take medication for ADHD, and furthermore, I'm a Christian who doesn't drink, smoke, or do drugs. It's just ridiculous is what he's saying, and I got a feeling this guy couldn't say that. Obviously, he can't, right? I mean, there's no doubt that he can't say he's a Christian and doesn't smoke, drink, or do drugs. I can. My guess is your neighbor's telling the truth, since I now identified over 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic since I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going in the attic. Remember, his neighbor is saying that they're hacking his cameras. I proved beyond a shadow of a doubt they were hacking my cameras here, and so there's absolutely no doubt about it. I wonder if that guy ain't breaking into his neighbor's house. Okay. History of the people in the attic. That's showing you all them other homeowners that have documented reporting people in the attic. And interestingly, I contacted the city of Midland to ask for a list of all homeowners reporting people in the attic. They said nobody has. That included me. And I have the police reports when I did. And I have all these police scanner calls for all these other homeowners. They just flat out lied. The city of Midland did. It's in that video. And by the way, I proved they were hacking cameras. That proof was posted in the public and provided to law enforcement. I gave that to Sheriff Greiners. I emailed it to him. It was sent to the Texas Rangers. It was sent to the DHS. It was provided on a flash drive DHS and to the FBI. There is no doubt. It's been posted in the public. Nobody can argue it. It's a fact. They're hacking the security cameras. Proof was also found showing that I wasn't shot with my gun, which makes me the victim of a premeditated capital attempted murder. And multiple people are now documented as saying that tunnels and underground homes are here, along with supporting evidence found on Google Maps. Okay, this is the video. Why hasn't anybody been seen on camera? There's the link if y'all want to watch it. Like I said, there is no doubt about it. It's 100% fact. And there's no telling how many other murders have been this hack has been used for. How many other crimes and murders, how many times they've broken into homes. I was told that the previous owner of my home was telling people were breaking his house before he died, and I moved here in 2008. These crimes have been going on for years, every single day. That's thousands and thousands of burglaries, and then just think there's 50 other homeowners documented, and that's the tip of the iceberg. There's tens of thousands of felonies going on. This is widespread racketeering and organized crime. One of the many people documented saying these underground homes were here said it was 4 3-bedroom $1 million underground homes, buried at least 25 foot deep, and she said they were having pedophile parties down there. That's that top video. Is that something you would know about, Jarrod? And the other information this woman told me seems to check out. Now there are multiple people documented saying that underground homes are here, along with supporting evidence on Google Maps. I think we can assume she was also correct about the underground pedophile parties, okay? That just makes sense. She's telling me these information. Now I'm going to show you here, Google Earth Maps 2011. You can go download that yourself. Just go back to 2011, and right behind the Home Depot store, you can see where they cut a big old tunnel ditch coming directly towards my house. That woman on that phone, when you listen to it, she says, they're going to your den, to your den. She says it 2 or 3 times. That's where that projects out. That's where my den is. Listen to that phone call and you'll hear her say that, okay? In the backyard right here is where one of the 4 underground homes believed to be. You used to could go to Google Maps, look up my address, and in the backyard on the map screen was a large building. You can see it right here. That got removed a couple months ago when I notified the city of Midland it was there, and all of a sudden it got removed. You can see it from above ground. Obviously, it's one of the 4 underground homes. And then this is a list of the many people documented saying that tunnels and underground homes are here. And it's a long list of people that legitimate law enforcement could talk to, question, investigate in these capital murders. That's been the problem. It's been unprecedented lawlessness is what's been going on here. Okay, moving on. Another comment the woman on this phone call made was about a wealthy guy in a town near Hobbs, New Mexico that started with an A. Okay, that would be Artesia, New Mexico, where the richest guy in New Mexico lives. He sold his oil company, Marbob, to Concho here in Midland for over $1 billion in 2010. I made a Facebook post in 2019 called Artesia Suspects based on that phone call. And a few hours later, I saw where then Vice President Pence was flying to the tiny town of Artesia. Ain't that a coinky dinky? Just a few hours later. Pence had been in Midland a few months earlier meeting with the leaders of oil companies here, and I wondered if they offered him a donation for helping covering up the oil show party murders. That just seems to make a lot of sense. Let's look at the screenshots. This is from my Facebook, August 15th, and that's what I'm saying, 2019, Artesia, New Mexico suspects. That had the phone call in it. It had all this evidence in here, okay? And then here's Vice President Pence, October 15th, 2019, about 4 hours later, and Vice President Pence is scheduled to visit Artesia. Okay, what a coinky dinky that all of a sudden I say, post this Artesia suspects, talk about this wealthy guy in Artesia that I heard about that's connected to $1 million underground homes, and guess who's flying to Artesia? Pence, Insurrection Day, turn his back on Trump, Pence. That's who was. I wondered if the Democrats didn't find that out and they blackmailed Pence because they found out that he was trying to help cover up Capitol murders. I don't know, but that seemed like a fair question. It's a crime to harass a victim and witness to a capital attempted murder, yet that has been allowed to go on over and over and over and over. It's been over 10 years. These jerks ignore the evidence showing this premeditated capital attempted murder while publicly trying to smear my name. It's a very fair question to ask why and wonder if this guy was one of the pedophiles that I was told about. Don't you all agree? Or do you want to just ignore that it's been said that they're raping children underground too, And here I just pointed out that, a Google search, if you want to search for witness tampering and harassing the victim of capital attempted murder. Like I said already, when I proved I wasn't shot with my gun, I proved I was a victim of capital attempted murder. So when people harass me, they're breaking the law. This Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas, what do y'all think about pedophile parties going underground? Is it okay just to forget about it and let them keep on going, or what? What about secret police gangs? Is that okay? Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.